Hey yo, what's up? This your boy Rio. It's a Trapping Tuesday. I just want to touch on a few things. I want to touch on the P from QC situation, maybe even a little bit of the TI situation, Gunner situation. Uh, who else out there they talking about snitching and all this here? Uh, I can't even recall, but there's so many. But y'all need to get off this internet with this foolishness. Most of y'all never even been in the streets, never even sniffed the streets, never even touched the streets. If you ain't, never had no ag assaults, no murder charges, no trafficking, and intent with distribute type stuff, you know what I'm saying? If y'all ain't never really been out there like that, conspiracies, then y'all shouldn't even be speaking on street junk. Because for one, the streets is dead. This foolishness out here right now, there's too much money to be made that you even need to be in the streets and with all this murdering and all that kind of stuff, because it's not that serious. The streets really started dying in like 96, 98. When Cash Money came out and made it about money, that's when everything kind of changed. It stopped being about blue and red and all that, and now you guys are just, the people that's out there right now, like, it's foolishness. It's too much money to be made online and doing other stuff to be in the streets like that. The quality of life should be way much better right now. When we was out there, I'm an 80s baby, so when I was out there, jumped off the porch in the early 90s, mid 90s, you know what I'm saying, selling trees, doing whatever, you know what I'm saying, and eventually moved up to the hard, that TT Tucker, for some of y'all on, don't know what they're talking about. And that was before the water whip. That's when it was real straight solid, coming back at 28, 29, 30, straight butter, you know what I'm saying? So I was out there when it was real. Zips was going for the 1,000. I know y'all don't know nothing about zips hard going for 1,000. That's when I was out there in the game. Blunts, pre-roll blunts going for $10. Joints going for $5. Like, that's when I jumped off the porch. So if you wasn't out there in the streets like that, then you don't even know nothing about all that junk that's going on now. Y'all just acting and portraying. Everybody want to try to feel all hard and whatever. But anyway, snitching again is you and me do some dirt, I get caught, then I tell on you so you can get caught too, even though you got away. Telling is, hey, I ain't got nothing to do with the foolishness you got going on, and you over there with that bull, and I tell on your behind. That's telling. That ain't no snitching. If we ain't do the dirt together, that ain't snitching. You know what I'm saying? If we ain't out there doing the same thing, involved in the same foolishness, and I tell on you to get you in trouble even though you got away, that ain't snitching. So y'all just throw this snitching around way too much. And most of y'all, like I said, wasn't even in the streets. So y'all really just need to shut up, go read a book, go to school, go do something else. Because y'all wasn't even out there like that. And those of you who were out there, y'all be on some petty junk that don't even really know what's going on. Most of these people y'all speaking on, bosses. We're doing real junk. Really in the trenches, really calling shots, doing real stuff. So y'all shouldn't even be speaking on bosses. If you wasn't no boss, you shouldn't be speaking on nothing. You was the corner boy, you was, a runner or whatever, peon, a quote unquote goon or shooter, whatever. Like, bro, you shouldn't even be speaking on boss stuff because you don't know nothing about it. You don't know when you got that real deal pay lawyer up in there and your lawyer negotiating with the prosecutor, the DA, you know what I'm saying, the judge and all that, and they all working together, and they're gonna be like, okay, well, you need to say this, this, and this to satisfy the court, you know what I'm saying, to have this deal that you gonna get, you know what I'm saying. So, like, my personal experience, I eventually got caught up with some trees back in like 2014. It wasn't number like 50 pounds. It wasn't nothing like crazy. Ain't no Tony Montana or nothing like that, you know what I'm saying. But it went from possession with intent to distribute uh, to upgrade it to trafficking because the Hyder task force got on me, you know what I'm saying? So that's DEA. That, if y'all don't know nothing about that, W1, they got everybody on that thing. The Hyder task force, but it ran through the DEA. So you get caught up in that, that means you got on some fair situation. So in order for me to get the deal that I got, which was 30 years suspended sentence, because they wanted me to go do 10 at first, like straight up 10. But my lawyer was able to get a deal for me that I had to essentially agree to an upgraded charge in order to do no jail time. No snitching, no jail time, no nothing. It definitely cost me some bands, tens of thousands to stay free, but it was worth it in the beginning. So I ended up getting a trafficking charge for what I had. 30 years suspended sentence, 5 years probation, all these fines, all this whatever, you know what I'm saying? And it was a structured plea, so I had to get up in front of the court and say, yeah, you know what I'm saying, I did this here, who's the person you met with? I don't know, somebody named Black or whatever like that, because my lawyer told me, you're going to have to tell the judge something. He You just gotta say something, cause that's just how it's gonna be. The judge not gonna let you get away and be like, oh, I ain't gonna say no names, I ain't gonna say nothing or whatever like that. So it's even to the point where even if you just make something up, you gotta get a judge something to satisfy the court. You gotta say a name. It could be some make believe shit, and in the case that's what it was for my situation. You know what I'm saying? I just made up some, just had to give something. Somebody I never knew, never dealt with, don't even know. Just made up some junk. Yeah, somebody named Black, woo woo, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you is that snitching? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that snitching? Wasn't nobody to snitch on. I got caught with the work. My people back in Texas, I never spilled their name on nothing. One of them was a cousin. It was his. It was really through his plug. I ain't snitch on nobody on nothing. Got back to the Mississippi, got hemmed up. People who I was dealing with ain't never put no heat on them. Ain't say nothing. I took the whole rap for it because I had never had a felon, so I was good. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like I was like, all right, I'm gonna get the least sentence regardless, because everybody I fuck with, they was felons already. So they catch a trafficking charge that they threw. So the moral of the story is stop throwing this snitching around loosely, because like I say, most of y'all not even in the streets. And if you're in the streets right now, unless it's just some special circumstances, it's better ways to get paid than being in the streets right now. Like I said, if you was in the late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s, even early 2000s, you still probably had some reasons to be in the streets like that, getting some money. Right now though, it's too much legal stuff to do to get bread, and especially to get more money than you're gonna get legally than illegally. And they still gonna throw all that time at your ass, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, the moral of the story is mind your business. You know what I'm saying? Everybody with this internet shit, they got an opinion on what's going on, and most of y'all don't even know what the hell is going on, because y'all ain't never been in the streets. Y'all don't know nothing about real street shit. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never been up in the kitchen, whipping up, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. You ain't never did none of that. Busting down bricks when they come in, breaking down the pounds. You ain't never did none of that. You seen that shit on TV. You watching Power. You watching what's the Snowfall. You watching all that, and you living vicariously through them. Or you listen to the music, and you listen to some of these motherfuckers who never even did it. A lot of these niggas were straight A students, and you know what I'm saying, athletes and all this shit, and all of a sudden they the biggest trapper on earth. Like, stop the foolishness, bro. Like, this a money grab. Most of these niggas that's making this quote-unquote drill music and trap music, them niggas ain't never really did nothing. And if they did something, it was just trying to prove it. Prove that they can do it. Prove that they not as fake as niggas was calling their ass out for being fake. So, again, don't believe the hype. Snitching and telling, two totally different things. If you ain't doing no dirt together with somebody, and you ain't in no paperwork, and it ain't even got to be no paperwork. That's old school with the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Because you can snitch these days, and you just sending text messages. You know what I'm saying? Hey, buddy, got this here, got a package coming in, woo woo, and then you get jammed up on the highway. Because that was the first thing the police told me. Like, hey, there is no coincidence why we pulled you over. As soon as I got to Mississippi, they got me on I-10 right there on 49 by the Home Depot. I got pulled over right there on August 29th, 2014. And first thing buddy told me was, hey, it ain't no coincidence you got pulled over. It ain't no coincidence I'm pulling you over. They already knew what it was. You know what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers had snitched on me. You know what I'm saying? I got caught up in somebody else's fed situation, and they put me up on that. So I know from personal experience. And that nigga was never in my paperwork. Ain't nothing in my paperwork says anything about, confidential informant or such and such said, you know what I'm saying, this guy does this, and that. It wasn't none of that. None of that. Wasn't nothing in there. You look at my paperwork, it don't say nothing about nothing. About nobody snitching or telling or nothing. But my attorney let me know, yeah, you got caught up in somebody else's stuff, and just so happened somebody I was dealing with happened to be working for the feds, that I found out when he ended up going to court a couple years later. Because when you in that court situation, he admitted in open court that he had been messing with the feds and was a federal informant since 2014. Hell of a coincidence, I got japped up by the feds, the height of task force, in 2014. So, like I said, I can't say for sure, but that's a hell of a coincidence. But that's neither here nor there. So, again, y'all who ain't been in the streets, stay out of street shit. Later.